The park was quiet that afternoon, the kind of stillness that makes every sound echo. A soft drizzle fell from a gray sky as a little girl sat alone on a weathered bench, her backpack beside her, her face buried in her hands. Her name was Lily, and that day the world felt too heavy for a 10-year-old to carry. She had run from school, from home, from the noise of people arguing, to find a place where her tears could fall unnoticed. From the trees behind her came the faint sound of paws stepping on wet leaves. A stray dog, thin, dirty, with golden fur matted by rain, stopped a few feet away. His ribs showed, his ears drooped, but his eyes, they were warm, almost human. He watched her for a moment, tilting his head as if he understood her sadness. "Go away," Lily whispered, wiping her eyes. "You'll get wet." But the dog didn't move. Instead, he sat down in the puddles in front of her, the rain soaking through his fur, and looked straight at her as if saying, "I'm not leaving you alone." Lily sniffed, reached into her bag, and pulled out half a peanut butter sandwich. "You're probably hungry," she said softly. The dog crept closer, gently took it from her hand, and wagged his tail once before sitting again, watching her. That was the first time Lily smiled that day. Her father, Ethan, had been distant lately. Once a loving, playful man, he'd changed after losing his wife and then his job. He was a veteran, strong on the outside, quiet and hurting on the inside. Their house felt colder, quieter, filled with words they both wanted to say but never did. That morning they'd argued. Ethan had yelled, Lily had slammed the door and run out into the rain. She didn't know where to go. She only knew that she felt invisible. Now, looking into the dog's kind eyes, she felt something she hadn't felt in a long time, seen. "You can stay with me," she whispered. "Just for tonight." He followed her all the way home, careful to keep a few steps behind. She sneaked him into the backyard, wrapped him in an old towel, and gave him the rest of her lunch. "I'll call you Buddy," she said. He wagged his tail again, as if he understood. When Ethan came home later, soaked from the rain, he called out for her. Panic grew when there was no answer, until he found her in the backyard, sitting beside the dog under the porch light. "Lily," he said, half angry, half relieved. "Do you have any idea how worried He stopped when he saw Buddy. "What is that? A stray?" "He's not just a stray," Lily shouted. "He saved me. I was crying and alone and he stayed." Ethan looked at the thin dog, muddy, shivering, but calm, and something inside him softened. He saw the same look he'd seen in the mirror too many nights, loss. "He can stay tonight," Ethan said quietly. But only tonight. That night, Buddy slept on a blanket near Lily's bed. When she turned off the light, he moved closer, resting his head on the floor beside her hand. She whispered goodnight, and he closed his eyes. Over the next few days, Buddy became part of their lives. He followed Lily to the bus stop every morning and waited there until she came back. When Ethan worked in the garage, Buddy would lie nearby, listening to the hum of tools. The house slowly started to feel alive again. Laughter returned, dinners lasted longer, and sometimes, Ethan caught himself smiling without realizing it. One evening, while Lily did her homework, Ethan sat beside her and asked, "You really think he saved you that day?" Lily nodded. He didn't say anything. He just stayed. "Sometimes that's all you need." Ethan smiled faintly. "Yeah, I think I know what you mean." Weeks passed, and life seemed lighter. But one stormy night changed everything. Thunder cracked across the sky as heavy rain poured over the small town. Lily hadn't come home yet. Her bus had broken down on a flooded road, and she decided to walk the rest of the way. Buddy paced by the door, whining, scratching, barking like he could sense something was wrong. "Buddy, stop," Ethan said, but then the dog's barking grew frantic. He opened the door, and Buddy bolted into the storm. Ethan grabbed his coat and flashlight and ran after him. The streets were slick, water rushing through gutters. He followed Buddy's paw prints, heart pounding. A few blocks away, he found Lily's backpack floating in a ditch beside the road. His chest went cold. Then he heard Buddy barking, desperate, loud, echoing through the rain. Ethan sprinted toward the sound and saw them, Lily clinging to a branch in a shallow flood channel, her legs caught in the current. Buddy was in the water with her, teeth gripping her jacket, pulling with everything he had. "Lily!" Ethan shouted, jumping into the water. Together, man and dog fought against the current until Ethan lifted her out, coughing, shaking, but alive. Buddy collapsed beside them, exhausted. His eyes blinked weakly, tail wagging once before going still. Buddy, Lily whispered, clutching him. Please, don't go. You can't leave me too. Ethan held her close, rain running down his face, tears he didn't hide. We'll get him help, I promise. They rushed Buddy to the nearest animal clinic. The vet worked for hours, treating him for exhaustion, infection, and hypothermia. Lily sat outside the room, clutching the towel she'd wrapped him in the first night. At sunrise, the vet came out smiling. He's a fighter, she said. He'll make it. Lily cried into Ethan's chest. He stroked her hair and whispered, he saved both of us, kiddo. Weeks later, Buddy walked out of the clinic, a little slower but tail wagging proudly. The whole neighborhood cheered. Ethan adopted him officially that day, signing the papers with a shaky hand and a full heart. Life didn't suddenly become perfect, there were still bills, long days, and quiet nights, but something had changed. There was laughter again, hope again. Buddy had brought it back. On summer evenings, the three of them would sit in the park, the same bench where it all began. Lily would rest her head on Buddy's back while Ethan watched the sunset. Do you think he remembers that day? Lily once asked. Ethan smiled. He doesn't need to. Dogs don't live in the past. They just love you now. The wind rustled through the trees. Buddy lifted his head, watching the horizon. Lily reached over and hugged him tight. And as the camera slowly pulled back, the narrator's voice returned, soft, warm, full of truth. Sometimes, the ones who have nothing, give us everything. A homeless dog, a lonely girl, and a father trying to find his way, they didn't just save each other's lives. They saved each other's hearts. Buddy barked once, as if agreeing, the sound echoing through the golden light of evening. Fade out.